Sorry about that. The internet kind of cut out on us there. Back with Coco and Cine here. Hey, crazy man. Hey everyone, sorry about that. Internet got the best of us there for a moment. Hoping it holds out for a few more minutes here so we can keep on talking Coco and Cine and their introduction day today. Hey, Corey S., we're back. Hello, kitties, he says. It's Cine totally mangling the peacock feather that came in here in one piece, mister. Well, he says, don't worry, I took care of it for you. That was fun enrichment. Thank you. We're back, everyone. Looks like I have a majority of my audience here. I wanted to talk a little bit about personalities of Coco and Cine. I think that we've been getting a good dose of Cine's personality, who's the obvious extrovert between the two. Coco, she may be hanging out in the corner, but she's far from, in a fearful state. She's kind of watching, she's kind of dozing off. She's certainly aware of me and my presence, but I'm not going to go and corner her or make her feel uncomfortable. Hang out with Mr. Cine here, and he says, I'll play with some toys here. I'll play with some toys. Hey, Chizzy, you're asking, how old are Cine and Coco? Cine and Coco are 5 years old. Take two. Hello again. That's right, Kathy Barton. And Cine and Coco talked a little bit about how they made their way here to the Wildcat Sanctuary right as I was cut off by the internet. I was talking about the large claws that are handed down to these hybrid cats by the Wildcats that they're bred with. You can see those large claws that are extending from Cine's feet there. And obviously you can see that spotted coat, which is indicative of the Wildcat that's been bred into Cine, those spots that a serval would have. He's even got flashes behind his ears. It's easy to see just as a knee-jerk reaction that a cat like Cine, a cat like Coco, and many of the hybrids here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, they are objectively beautiful animals. But there is a truth behind that beauty and what that beauty is caused by, and it's by these wild genetics. And those wild genetics make these cats a unsuitable candidate for a domestic environment. Domestic and wild, it doesn't mix. And truth to tell, the kind of thing that's kind of heart-wrenching about I'm sorry, I was just getting my feet under me, Mr. Cine. And the thing that's heartbreaking about a lot of these hybrid rescues is they're the ones who are caught in the middle. They didn't ask to be caught in between this domestic and wild world. They were brought in here because of the selfishness of humans. And it's just a shame that at the end of the day, who's the one paying the biggest price? It's the cats that are involved. Crazy man, Coco and Cine. And so Coco and Cine, I think that as we've kind of been getting to know these two, and that I think that the best way to describe these two is that they coexist. We wouldn't necessarily call them a bonded pair, but I would say that they both have a great understanding of one another's personalities, one another's, just indications of, I'm uncomfortable, or, hey, move it or lose it. And that's typically going to be Coco telling Mr. Extroverted Cine here, just to cool his boots a little bit and just respect her space. So one thing we've noticed, if anytime Cine is kind of encroaching on Coco's bubble, Coco will give him a little bit of a correction, and Cine is very wise and understands that Coco kind of rules the roost here and is respectful and doesn't continue to push any buttons or make her uncomfortable. So definitely, a question of, are these two cats bonded? Well, they may not be a bonded pair, but they're a pair that has a wonderful understanding of each other's personalities and are coexisting quite well. And as I talked about earlier in kind of our part one of the live post, Coco and Cine are in our quarantine area. And so you'll see they still have a nice habitat out here. Obviously, our quarantine habitats are a little bit more condensed. They're typically for our new arrivals, if we're doing mergers. Also, if we have any cats that we need to keep a closer eye on for medical reasons. But Coco and Cine, they still got all the trappings that the hybrids are enjoying over in Hybrid Haven. Caretakers added, of course, some little kind of hanging platforms. Brought some extra logs in here. Dog glue. And plenty of toys in their indoor bedroom. Lots of toys in their indoor bedroom, as a matter of fact, for this playful guy right here. He says, I love to keep stimulated, and I appreciate all that you guys provide me to do exactly that. But to my point is that we're a full in Hybrid Haven right now. We are trying to math the math to figure out where these two could go. And unfortunately, that's just an indication for the surplus of these type of cats in need of rescue in a compassionate home, in need of sanctuary, and how us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, kind of being one of the few accredited sanctuaries that are outfitted to care for a host of these rescued small hybrid cats. Shoo fly, don't bother me. I put on bug spray. I am going to toss Mr. Cine a treat here. Maybe get into the comments as well. But I'm happy that everyone's pleased to welcome Cine and Coco to our Wild at Heart family, that they are listening to their story, and maybe if you've been following us for maybe even at least a year, you've been able to kind of see a pattern in which when we introduce these new hybrid rescues, you know, it's interesting. These stories are pretty similar. And that pretty much goes for all of these hybrid cats falling into that kind of same pool of a cat that is desired to be in a domestic environment because of the wild genetics that it's bred with. It is just not functioning in a domestic environment. Hey, crazy dude. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And I see that you didn't really care for my cat treats here. He says, but I care for this peacock feather. I can hear you're getting a little stimulated, mister. Let's keep you active here. I'll let you play with that. I'm going to look through some comments, mister. Hey, Faith, thank you for that kind of galvanizing comment about how everyone needs to work to solve this small cat crisis, doing things like sharing our posts, contacting your local news outlets, contacting your local and state representatives. I appreciate that, Faith. Yep, and Tanya kind of noticing how Coco's a little on the shy side, and she's on the shy side, but I'm really happy to see, and as you can see for yourself, she's napping, she's dozing off, she's not wide-eyed, she's not hissing at me, she's not spitting at me. And it's also a kind of great example of we've kind of evaluated Coco for her personality, and we're gonna kind of adhere to the guidelines that she's laid out. I know that Coco is a little more reserved, a little more introverted. I'm not going to go over there to try to see if she wants to play with a tether toy. I'm not going to go over there to try to give her some treats. I obviously would love to give her treats, but she's comfortable, she's happy. I'm not going to pop Coco's bubble. And I think that's one of the things that you guys can, crazy man, I think that's one of the things that you guys can obviously expect from us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary is, kind of built into the compassionate care is obviously a level of respect that we like owing our residents here. Talking to caretaker Jackie, who's the Zone 1 lead and who has been watching over these two since their arrival last week. And Jackie says, boy, are they voracious eaters. Coco and Cine love food time. And I can tell that they already had their meal. That's probably another reason why Coco says, I got everything I need. I'm just relaxing. I'm just relaxing. And you might have saw, everyone, on the e-newsletter. Come on, fly. You might have saw on the e-newsletter, we also attached a video that really basically encompasses the small cat crisis as a whole, talking about hybrid cats, talking about servals, bobcats, and lynx who have truly been afflicted by what we're calling the small cat crisis here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Obviously, we've made a lot of headway in terms of big cats here in the United States, passing federal legislation, the Big Cat Public Safety Act, which is governing the ownership of these big cats, governing the breeding and selling of these big cats. And now it's time to focus on the littles. And just as much as we were able to galvanize and change and make a difference for those cats, we know that we can do the same for the medium and smalls. And so we'll be sharing a little bit more on the small cat crisis later today. And obviously, that small cat crisis being encompassed in our larger Cats in Crisis campaign. Cine certainly enjoys some playtime, says Ellen Simmons. That's correct. That's correct. And I'm just being mindful of Cine because I don't want him to get overstimulated. That's why I'm kind of redirecting some of that energy with a tether toy here. Cine, I gave him some treats. Tammy's Tammy's doing her cat check-ins, and of course that includes spoonfuls of Supreme. He says, you know what, I just had my lunch. I was offered a treat. And as a matter of fact, Tammy's also kind of checking in on some of the, a little bit of the dating game that's been happening here in quarantine, in which we've been talking about. Perhaps any sponsors of Beauty and Brianna would have received an update. We're going to be sharing, or I apologize, thank you for catching that, Tammy. Ramsey and Brianna. A lot of small cats buzzing around in my head. That'd be Ramsey and Brianna. Sponsors would have found an update in their email yesterday. We're going to be making a formal update on Facebook later today, or perhaps tomorrow, just kind of depending on how the schedule unfolds. Nancy Hodel, dating game is right. We're, as we kind of often mention here, is one thing we do like offering our rescues is companionship, and by now we've developed a very thorough process to find out if there's potential for a merge, potential for a relationship between two cats, and hey, the cats are the boss at the end of the day, and we let them decide. And so far, Ramsey and Brianna have been showing some very positive signs about a companionship in their future. I'm just going to kneel right here, Miss Coco, because we've been hanging out with Mr. Cine a lot. Trying to get, there we go. Like to see a lot of people in the comments just kind of talking about just very simply how many domestic cats there are in shelter, and how people seeking out these types of breeds for not hundreds but thousands of dollars. There's even been hybrids that have been sold for tens of thousands of dollars. And to think about the average time that we found that owners are keeping these hybrid cats for, many times they're not keeping them past the ages of 2 or 3 years old. And thinking about that type of cost is just compartmentalizing it, just that in of itself is absurd. Oh, well, thank you for the meows, mister. We're almost wrapped up. I'm glad that we were able to kind of check in again, take 2 here. Where'd my peacock feather go? This is right here, Goofy. I've already torn it up. There you go, goofball. Coco and Cine, two special new rescues who were happy to offer a forever home here, and obviously still understanding the fact in which they arrived here, and how there are many, many more hybrid cats like them out there who are displaced, who are in need of rescue, and very simply a part of this small cat crisis, as we've been talking about. So I'm glad that we've got to spend some time with Coco and Cine, and makes me, it's really awesome to see and kind of uplifting to see you guys understanding what's happening here in the small cat crisis and the different small cats that are involved and how the hybrids are included in that and how you want to make a difference for them. You guys want to stop what's happening to these cats and right the wrongs. Just as, like I said, it's a very confident thing that you guys are able to do for these animals. We've done it for the big cats, and we can do it for the small cats. So we are off to the races, and it's time to stand up for the littles. And I can't be more excited to have this group of amazing and effective animal advocates behind us here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Hey, Carolyn, it looks like you might have sponsored, let's see here, looks like you might have taken, oh, maybe I misread that, sorry about that. Just wanted to thank anyone if they'd been giving us sponsorship to Coco and Cine, but I think you were talking about a different cat. Still thankful for that sponsorship nonetheless. Yeah, Nancy Hodel kind of talking about if all the money that goes into purchasing these wildcats, if that can go into conservation, agreed. If all that money that's purchasing these wildcats from these owners that are then dumping them off could go into the sanctuaries who are trying to take care of these cats and actually give them lifetime care. That's thousands of dollars that these people have purchased these cats for, and tens of thousands of dollars for the care of a lifetime care of an animal like this. So yeah, I think it's foolish in that sense. I think it's foolish that that's money that could be going to accredited sanctuaries who are trying to actually fix this issue. So yeah, it's definitely kind of asinine. And I see the ice maker at work, folks. That was a part of our Food and Wellness Center fundraiser. You might have heard a little noggin on the phone there. That ice to be added into the water buckets just to keep things extra cool. Even access fun enrichment. Cine was taking out some of those cubes and playing with them. And but obviously he says, I'm a wise boy. I got a good patch of shade back here, kind of close to my companion Coco, and I'm gonna just settle in. So I think with that, everyone, we are going to call that a live post for the day. Hey, look at Miss Coco here getting up. Oh my. Well. There's some grooming happening here. That's Coco grooming Cine, who says, hey, you look like you've been having fun. Let me cool you off. Let me help you out. That is very, very special. I myself have not seen any kind of level of companionship between Coco and Cine since I've been documenting them. All right. But also just a good example of how Coco just kind of drew a line in the sand there, and Cine says, all right. Just kind of reinforcing that maybe they're not a bonded pair, but they do have a good understanding for one another's boundaries. That was special to see Coco kind of share some kisses with Cine there, and actually I think she was trying to get to the treats that I had placed right near under Cine, so let me throw her a couple more. As it always goes here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, whenever Judson's wrapping up a live post, the cats know that, and so they decide to shift things up a bit. Didn't last long. Well, I'm glad that we got to see a little affection between those two, and I'm glad Miss Coco is coming out of her shell a little bit for us on this live post. As I've mentioned, she may be shy, but she's far from fearful. She's very much in control of the situation and knows that she has plenty of options to seek shelter, plenty of options to stand her ground and let Cine know that, hey, I'm the boss here. And obviously we're not encroaching on Coco's bubble, caretakers or staff or interns. We're here to respect you, Miss Coco. So I'm glad you're getting a little treat time. Let's go check in with Surfer Dude Cine. And then we'll call it a live post, everyone. He says, just a few more leg rubs. Thank you. Thank you, mister. Well, everyone, I appreciate the warm welcome for Coco and Cine, and I also appreciate the level of understanding in which, the road that led Coco and Cine here to the Wildcat Sanctuary as a hybrid cat, the road that has led many of our hybrid rescues here to the Wildcat Sanctuary, and knowing that there's a difference still to be made for these hybrid cats, and trying to right the wrongs and let people know what are appropriate pets, what are the downfalls of owning a hybrid cat like this in a domestic environment, and truly just wanting the best for these animals, as we always do here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Is we want compassion, we want understanding. I hear you and I see you. I was looking for our tether toy, Mr. Goofball. But nonetheless, thank you everyone again for the warm welcome, and thank you for the compassion and understanding that you've given these two, so we can hopefully make a difference for those hybrid cats yet to come. Thank you again.